What's up, YouTube? What's up, Discord? Welcome back to another market analysis. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I didn't have time to do a full live call. We usually do the market analysis live so I can, get everything here and cover everything you guys want me to look at. But today I'm running short on time, so I'm going to record this quickly for you guys. We're going to get straight to the point. I'm going to cover just basically everything, what I'm looking for, what I'm not looking for, what I'm expecting on Forex, indices, and even crypto, right? We're going to talk about some crypto today. So let's get straight into it, guys. I'm not going to waste any time. Tomorrow we will be live, tomorrow being Tuesday. We will be live tomorrow, Wednesday we'll be live, and Thursday we'll be live. So you guys can ask me if you don't see any of the pairs that you're looking for on here that I covered today, then you can just ask me about that tomorrow. All right, so we're going to start off with DXY. You guys know DXY is the current leader in the markets right now. Just trying to see what's going on these pairs and on these markets. What can we see, guys? So the main thing that I have seen is that we have gotten into this fair value gap. You guys remember where DXY is at right now? We have this low that created this high, we have this push lower, and basically we traded into this reaccumulation here that is like back in 2022, and we kind of got a small reaction from them. I'm not going to say this is a major demand zone. It's really not. You can see the rejection here is not really that heavy either. We're not seeing really big impulses, and that's the main thing that I want you guys to kind of notice here. We're not seeing like impulsive movements away from this area. So I'm not going to say that this market is ready to go, right? Because if it was ready to go, we would see movements like this, right? We'd see movement like this, especially on a daily time frame. We would see better daily candles, and we're just not seeing that right now. We're kind of just seeing slow momentum price action to the upside. Nothing wrong with that either, but I just want you guys to get a perspective of what's going on. So we came up, we filled this imbalance. We're still holding this bearish movement towards the downside, where we're still holding, even though order flow now, and order flow here is about to change. I think order flow has changed already, actually. Yeah, I think order flow has already changed. Did we invalidate this low? Yeah, order flow has just broken this low right here. And then our 1 hour structure is still bearish from that high. So you can see order flow has now shifted to the downside, and even our 1 hour is still bearish. Let me get this proper marking for you guys here. Boom, boom, here, 1 hour, and that being our 1 hour too. Okay. All right, so you guys can see that order flow is bearish now. Order flow is going to the downside. 1 hour is still bearish. So I'm still bearish here on the dollar, and I do expect this to continue lower. Okay, that's basically the main thing that I want you guys to get out of this, is we're still bearish here on the dollar. So now zooming in, let's go to like EU, and we'll talk about the USD pairs and what we're seeing there. We are still bullish here as well. As you can see, we have low to high, low to potentially new high here. We just got to change a character, and we're just now pulling back. Boom, low to high, low to high, low to high, and we got to change a character. We were pulling back. Remember, guys, we left all of this liquidity up here that I wanted to see the market come back later. Now order flow here is still bearish on the lower time frame. You guys can see after we took this sell opportunity here, boom, towards the downside, you can see we're still kind of holding this high. This is the main thing that I want to see, guys. First is I want to see this high taken out. As soon as this high gets taken out, that's when I'll start looking for buying opportunities, especially since even right here, we don't really have any manipulations just yet. You can see we left Asian lows. And one thing about these markets, guys, you see we're kind of gapping a lot, right? You see we have a gap right here. We have a gap right here. It's like every week, every time the market is opening, we're getting gaps. So that just means we have a lot of volatility in this market right now. I want you guys to be careful in these markets, okay? So what I do see is we're getting impulsive movements, right? We're seeing the impulsive movements, but you guys know, as per my rules, I need to see a manipulation. And we still don't have an external break either. Even though we did break this high, I want us to break this high because this is the key high. This is the important high that'll confirm that I want this market to go higher, since this is what's holding this bearish leg. Once we break this high, it's all free game. We're just going to look for aggressive entries to take out all of this liquidity up here. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. Once that happens, we'll start taking those aggressive entries. But right now, we're just kind of being patient, and we don't have really a big setup here just yet. But that doesn't mean a setup can't form, right? What does that mean? So today, what do we see? We see that this market is filling imbalance right here. So let's say we have this 1 hour imbalance here that the market is filling. If either one of these areas, let's say we come down here to this imbalance, or we come down here to this imbalance, it doesn't matter, right? The point is, if we reject off any of these imbalances here, and let's say we continue this impulsive movement, as you see right here, right? If we continue that same impulsive movement like this towards the upside, and we validly break this high, validly meaning, you know, we get a closure candle above that high, we can actually take a trade from that mitigation or that fill of that imbalance, hoping that, you know, it's actually a confirmed area. And what do I mean by that? Right, I still needed to follow some of these rules here. So I will still need it to, you know, give me an impulsive move. We are mitigating imbalance, so I would need it to leave an imbalance, and I would need an external close. The external close would be us breaking this high, which would be that change of character. And then, of course, like I said, the body closure candle would automatically be up here once we just close above this high. So most of the rules will confirm if we do get that impulse that breaks this high. Most of our rules will get confirmed because we'll be following structure, and we'll be following just overall the sentiment of where the market wants to go, right? So that is basically what I'm looking for here on EU. Is I am looking for something like this. I'm looking for more impulsive movements towards the upside this way, and we can take our entry off of that demand zone. So if this is going to be that move that we're seeing here today, let's say the market just takes off, draw this out, say the market just takes off, exposed to the upside, boom, tomorrow, right, on our live call, we will take a trade just from this area here, and that'll be our setup to take this market higher into these highs right here. Okay, that is simply what I am going to look for. That's simply what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buying opportunities. I'm not looking for any selling opportunities right now, just because the way the market's looking, you can see the impulsive movements are going to the upside. Only reason we can't take a trade is, one, we don't have the manipulation down here, and we just be taking a trade just strictly off of imbalance. Let's go on a lower time frame. Let's see. We also have an accumulation down here. Even better. This is forming to be a nice setup. Even better. We have an accumulation that's forming. So we got something brewing up here on EU. We just got to be patient, wait for us to just get that external break, and we will take that buying opportunity. Let's zoom into GU. GU really breaks my heart because I knew we were going to take out this liquidity. I remember I told you guys on the live call we were going to take out this liquidity. We took a loss last week on GU trying to take out these highs from here, right? We took out these lows. Boom, we got the impulsive movement towards the upside, and we were looking for that mitigation of this demand zone here, and you see the market just kind of just took us out right here, but we just played around, and then we came higher and we took out the highs anyways, like we wanted to happen. So just kind of just unlucky there. Probability just wasn't on our side, and we took that L. But what I wanted to see happened. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to look for here on GU, right? The same thing we're looking for on EU, the same thing I'm looking for at GU. Simply put, we already have the change of character, us breaking this high, right? We don't even need to call that a change of character. We can just call that a break of structure, right? We're just breaking a high here. We know that we're bullish on this market still. Zooming out, right? I'm just zooming out for you guys. Make sure you guys are always zooming out when you're looking at the charts, okay? Make sure you're always getting the outward perspective of the entire chart. Make sure you're going on the 4 hour. Make sure you're going on a daily. Even if you're not trading those time frames, it doesn't matter. It's better to get a better picture, so when you get to the lower time frames, you know exactly what to look for. Okay, so we're looking for buys. We're sweeping these highs. Even these highs here, there's no supply holding these highs, guys. There's still more liquidity above these highs right here. So I'm still going to be looking for buys on this market. I'm already looking for aggressive buys here. I don't need anything else. To be honest, I would love for us to come a little bit lower, fill this imbalance here, tap into this imbalance. If we don't, oh well, but that just be an extra confluence for me. Like, let's say we come lower, we tap into this imbalance, we break this high here, we will take our trade, boom, right there. Or basically, from what I'm seeing today, I can already see this is an accumulation. For those of you that have trained your eyes and you've been in the mentorship, you know this is accumulation right here. We just zooming in, we can already see it before we even we can already see it before we even go to the lower time frames, guys. Just look at this very, very beautiful accumulation here. So as this market goes higher, hopefully we continue to form imbalances, take us to the upside. I want to see an impulsive movement from this accumulation, right? Remember, impulsive move is right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, it's kind of blue. Let's go back to here. There we go. Let me see if I can move this for you guys real quick. Because it's blocked off. I'm gonna just move my camera really quickly for you guys so you guys can see it. Right, there you go, right here. You see the impulsive move right here is a main key thing in our checklist. So, and let me just move the camera. We're gonna move the camera right here, okay? Maybe that'll make it easier for you guys so you guys can kind of see that. And I'll just leave it there for the rest of the video so we can kind of just look at those rules there, and just for me to explain to you why I'm looking at what I'm looking at, right? I'll move it back later, but for now, we'll just leave it there to explain those rules. All right, so we have the impulsive move that we need to see, right? So basically, we see that strong movement towards the upside, and basically it looks exactly like this, guys, right? You see this is called an impulsive move. You see we have that violent candles to the upside, leaving imbalance. That's basically the same thing we want to see here. Once we break this high, we'll take our entry to the upside like that, okay? That's simply what we want to see here on GU. All right, so we're looking for buys on GU. You guys know same thing is going to be here on AU, and AU actually doesn't look bad already. I like the fact that we already swept these lows. We didn't sweep these lows here. We left a little bit in balance. We're tapping off imbalance right here. I kind of like this setup already. We're tapping off imbalance. We're leaving a little bit. We need an external break. We need an external break or a change of character. Right here, this is not a change of character, nor it's an external break. We would need this high would be our external break, unfortunately. I would have loved if AU wasn't in such a nasty range. We would have looked for, we would have taken an aggressive buy right here if AU just wasn't in nasty range. And guys, remember, so when I trade these markets, I'm trading them individual by price action. What does that mean? Yes, I know that EU most likely is going to go higher. Yes, I know that GU is most likely going to go higher. So that means that AU is going to go higher. But these markets move at a different pace. AU might go higher, stronger than EU or GU, right? Or GU might go higher, stronger than AU. So the thing I'm trying to make here is just because these pairs correlate, I'm not going to buy AU right here, even though I know that it doesn't follow a little bit more of my rules, right? We don't have the external change of character and the BOS, which will be up here. I am not going to take a trade here just because this setup looks, you know, it looks good. It's filling up most of the other rules. We already have an imbalance that is forming right here. We have a body closure. We don't have a body closure because we didn't break a high yet. But we have the imbalance. We have the impulsive move that we're seeing right here. We have a manipulation, right? You can see this candle here manipulated that previous low. And we are technically following our structure point since we did not get change of character, right? The only thing is we don't have the external change of character and we don't have the body closure. So basically what I'm trying to get at here, just because I know, I don't want to say I know, but we have the bias to take EU higher and to take GU higher, I'm not going to buy this just because I'm going to take the other pairs higher. I need this to confirm the setup too. Okay, so just because pairs correlate doesn't mean that you're gonna, okay, I'm gonna take this because I know this is going higher. No, right? You need to make sure the setup is confirmed on each individual pair. All right, that's what I do. That way, you're not caught into just trying to buy everything that's correlating, because you're going to take a lot of losses into that. All right. So I need to make sure that every single pair is actually giving me the setup and we have a clear setup. All right. Sometimes I'll buy EU and sometimes I'll sell GU. I know it's right. If most of the time they move together, I know, but sometimes one of them gives a buy setup. Sometimes the other one looks like a sell setup. So I trade it individual to the setup that actual market is showing me. Okay. So just to kind of clear that up. So but this is looking good towards the upside. Hopefully we continue this bullish pressure. I will look for buying opportunities towards the upside. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe if we get like a distribution during London session, right? This is something I actually can take. If we get a distribution during London session tomorrow, and let's say we come back and we invalidate this high, that'll be invalidation of supply. So I can take a trade from that. But right now we're not invalidating any supply. The nearest supply is up here, which will be this distribution, right? You can see we swept these highs here and we gave that push lower. That would be the nearest supply, and that's why we broke out. That's why I had that high here as the external break. So unless we create something tomorrow right here, I'll just be kind of just sitting here and waiting. If you guys have a different trading plan and you're able to take a trade like this, right, I'd be looking for buys on AU, right? So you don't have to trade exactly how I trade. You can just use my analysis for directional bias if you want to, and you can look for buying setups on the lower time frame. I know a lot of my students, some of my students are trading London session and everything like that. So you're probably already looking for buys on this during London session, right? Or you're probably looking for scalping trades on this. So just because I'm not taking a trade yet, you guys can still use my directional bias to take this market higher. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to be looking for here on AU, is pushes towards the upside. Look for those reaccumulations, right? Basically tomorrow I want to see something like this and us invalidate that, and then we'll take some buys towards the upside. All right, that's basically what I'm looking for during London session. Hopefully we do get that. That'd be a very, 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 very clean trade to take towards the upside. All right. US 30. I said US 30. I was just trading indices, guys. I'm actually in a trade right now that I'm kind of watching. Yeah, I'm actually in a trade right now that I'm kind of watching. So we'll talk about indices later. USD CAD. What are we seeing? So we have a 4-hour imbalance right here that the market has came into. So after taking out all of this liquidity, guys, after the market swept out all of this liquidity right here, hopefully you guys can see it. Let me move my camera again. This is why I kind of have my camera towards the other side. There we go. You guys know what the rules look like for now, right? We'll talk about that later. If I need to, I'll just move my camera for you guys to see it again. But you guys can kind of see what the rules look like, right? So here on USD CAD, all of this liquidity right here that fueled this push higher here got us into this 4-hour imbalance. Now, this 4-hour imbalance is actually what I was looking for us to target here. You guys can see the market kind of just took off, right? We just kind of took off towards the upside here. So I didn't really catch a buy opportunity to take this higher, unfortunately. The buy opportunity that we did try to take got taken out right here. And you see the market gave us a nice little movement afterwards. But what am I seeing now? Honestly, since we already just mitigated this 4-hour imbalance right here, it looks like once we break this low, I'm actually going to be looking for shorting opportunities, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, because we have an accumulation right here. This accumulation didn't do anything either. So we have an accumulation that is failing to break a high. So we're seeing that buyers are failing to take the market higher. And also, we have mitigated a 4-hour candle, and we have liquidity up here as well that the market can come and take out later. But what is these highs looking like? Okay, we didn't sweep any of these highs, so we won't be looking for a sell here. What we'll be doing is be looking for the same thing tomorrow. So I'll be looking for Asian session to come out, give me a good range, sweep these highs, invalidate this low, which will be our external break, and we will take a short from that price action and take us lower, right? And take us into this 4 hour. That's the shorting opportunity that I am looking for here on USD CAD. So I'll be looking for shorts on USD CAD just like that. Literally, it's really, that's the only thing here that I'm comfortable taking here on USD CAD. We don't have any demand zones here. This area is not a demand zone because we did not invalidate this high, right? So that accumulation technically didn't do anything. We can't take a buy from there. Well, I can't take a buy from there. I would not recommend you guys take a buy from there either. That is not a demand zone. And it's not a confirmed demand zone. It's a nice accumulation, but the demand zone, it didn't confirm because we did not invalidate the high. So for that reason is why I'm looking for shorts, right? Because this market is coming back into this accumulation. I'm going to expect us to break this accumulation. Once we do invalidate that, I'm going to look for shorts because the next target for this market is to come into this gap right here. We don't have a demand zone right here, right? There's nothing for the market to respect here. Everything is filled. All this imbalance is filled. The only area that the market could really come to is down here. So we kind of just have an open gap. And when the market has like an open gap like this, I will try to look for those shorting opportunities to fill up all of this open price action that I know there's no demand zone. So there should be no reason for the market to react or give us any major reactions within that area. So I'm not saying it's going to free fall, but most of the time we could just free fall down. So if you can catch that sell to just free fall and target this imbalance, and then you probably see the reaction back. Okay. So that's simply what we're looking for here on USD CAD. All right. USHEF is kind of USHEF is a lot uglier. USHEF is a lot uglier. It's a lot further from where I'm looking to take this. We still have this demand zone right here, guys, on USHEF. So I do expect USHEF to come lower, like I expect UCAD to come lower. USHEF, I am not going to be looking for shorts just because the gap is so small. I don't expect the market to really create a good setup that's going to get us down here that fast, right? Even if we go down to the lower time frame here. Sorry about that. Even if we go down to the lower time frame right here, guys, right? We left Asian highs right here. We don't really have an impulsive movement. Let's just look how close we are into this demand zone. So basically what I'm getting at, it's just not worth it. All right. It's not worth to look for this short here because by the time this short opportunity happens, we're going to be right here within the demand zone. And I'm not going to look for buys. I mean, I'm not going to look for shorts within a demand zone, guys. So what I'll actually be doing here is I'll be looking for longs. I'm not taking a limit order from here just because I don't trust this price action. I don't like this gap. This is not what I'm used to. I didn't backtest these. I didn't backtest Trump markets. Okay. I didn't backtest Trump markets and I wasn't expecting gaps. So this is not something that I've seen. So because of that, I'm not going to take a limit order out of here. But what I will do is when the market gets into here, I will look for that accumulation. I will look for that lower time frame entry. I will look for that, let's say come in here. I will look for that sweep of the lows and that push, and we will take the next opportunity that gives us that push higher. You guys remember the same thing that we took on like GJ and UJ when we mitigated the demand zone, and we're going to go back to UJ in a second, where we mitigated demand zone and the market was going higher and it formed a continuation move. That's basically what we're going to do here, looking for here on USHEF. I'm hoping that we can get that entry down here as closest into the demand as possible. Hopefully we can get that closer, but it just really depends on what the market gives us. But I'm basically going to be looking for buys in here, guys. That's simply where I'm getting at here. And the reason why I'm not taking aggressive buys in here is because technically this market is still bearish. Okay, that's why I'm not looking for a limit order here as well. That also adds into that confluence. Just look how bearish this market is. So I would not be surprised if we do this, right? We get a small reaction, we push up and we break. Now, if we do that, guys, this is going to be like an easy shorting opportunity. This is literally free money right here that I'm going to take to the downside. We're just going to take this market down, targeting all the way down here, and most likely just a new low. Okay, so that's kind of the scenarios that I'm looking for here on USHF. Now, USJPY, we invalidate this demand zone. So at the moment, I am expecting this to come down a little bit lower. Be cautious though, we are coming down into discounted pricing. We just hit the 50%. So as this market goes lower, I'm gonna see if we start dragging ourselves out, right, into this 71 and this 80, which is our golden areas. I'm gonna see if we start dragging ourselves out. Once we get that push from this golden area, that's when we'll start looking for our demand zones and take this market higher. Okay, so just be careful here on UJ, right? We're still in this bearish order flow here on the lower time frames. So let me just zoom in here. You guys can see we're still kind of in this bearish order flow here on the lower time frames. We just invalidated this demand zone right here. So buyers are not super strong right now. So that's why I'm seeing that we could come a little bit lower. We can just, you know, take ourselves a little bit lower down into this area down here near that origin before we start seeing those pushes towards the upside. So just be a little bit more careful. I'm not going to be looking for shorting setups personally because we're already past the 50%. So I'm just going to be patient and waiting for us to start giving those demand zones. So as the market goes lower, once we start invalidating these kind of little highs that we're forming lower, we're going to get that first demand zone that we could possibly take higher. Okay. Gold. Remember, I told you guys gold here within this leg, the 71 and the 80 was literally the perfect spot to look for buys. We tapped into the 71 perfectly right here. Nice wick, and we got a nice rejection. Now, look for more buying opportunities, right? Look for the market to continue this bullish pressure. You guys can see this impulsive move right here that the market gave. Look for more impulsive movements. Follow the impulsive movements. So what does that mean? So for today, right? Let's say right here, look for another push to the upside. This here is an easy target. This is a gap for the market to come and fill. So honestly, I'd be looking for buys until we come to this gap. This would be a nice take profit for my gold traders. Now, personally, me, I don't trade gold like day trade gold. I just invest into gold, right? It's different. So I'm just trading these swing lows and I'm just holding. Okay. That's simply it. I don't trade gold on lower time frames like that. So what I would tell you guys to do is, if you do get some lower time frame trades here, this is where I'd be targeting this gap. Look for moves towards the upside. This will be a nice rejection. This is a nice rejection already. So this will be a nice move towards the upside. We also have nice liquidity sitting up here, and we have a gap, guys. That's just easy. Okay. That's just easy profits for you. All right. That's what I'll be looking for here on gold. GJ. One of my favorite pairs. Okay, so GJ here. Look at this bearish leg, guys. We invalidated that bearish leg. Perfect. We invalidated a bearish leg and we have bullish order flow. So we invalidated a bearish leg and we have bullish order flow. Now, I'm just waiting for this lower time frame to change, and we can kind of see that happening here. And I'm seeing a glimpse of that. I love that. We're seeing that. We're starting to see a break of these highs, right? We're starting to see a little change of character. I want to see a more valid change of character. And basically what I mean is, I want to see a change of character that's not based off of a gap that opened on Sunday. Okay, I want to see real price action. I want to see real price action, guys. So I'm not trusting this move, right? So what I'm going to be looking for, I'm looking for the next move. So as we're seeing right here, as this market is taking off, tomorrow, hopefully we can get a perfect setup. Hopefully tomorrow, hopefully Asian range, you know, we get that Asian manipulation and we get that impulse. Breaking this high, that is going to be an easy buy for me to take towards the upside. Reason why I'm looking for buys right now is because we're still mitigating this area. See if I can find the best candle for this. This is a daily candle. I want to see if we can find like a let's see. Did we even tap into this? We didn't even make it. This whole area is a demand zone. So let's just do this like this. Delete this. Let me just put this wick right here. And you guys are probably be asking me why this is demand zone. I'm gonna just get into this for you guys. Don't worry. I'll explain why this is a demand zone. Okay. All right. The 4-hour candle is kind of weak here, right? This is going to be the extreme of this demand zone, this 4-hour candle right here. But you see, we didn't tap into it, but we're still mitigating this whole area. The reason why this area is a demand zone, guys, because this is the area that mitigated pound news, right? We mitigated the pound news that came out. I believe it was CPI for the pound, and we mitigated that news, and we gave that push higher that broke this high. So this area becomes an area of demand. It is our slingshot, right? For those of you that's in the course, that's in the mentorship, you know what a slingshot is. This is our slingshot, so it is a valid demand zone. So because the market is rejecting off of there here, as this market rejects and we push higher, we can look for buying opportunities to take reaccumulations, to take just continuation moves in a setup that we see going higher, because we're tapping off a demand zone. So now we can start looking for buying opportunities since we're mitigating a demand zone. Okay. That's as simple as we can get. And even here on the lower time frame, I'm just going to kind of zoom in for you guys here. There is an accumulation here on the lower time frame just to further prove to you guys why this is a demand zone. Right, we have Asian lows here, and you can see we have that nice accumulation. Market mitigates that accumulation, and then we take off from there. So this proves that buyers got into this market here at this area where we mitigated the pound news. All right, just to kind of further confirm that to you guys why we're respecting this area as a demand zone. So I'm looking for buys, guys. I'm going to look for this market to give me my A setup towards the upside. You guys know what that looks like. We need a manipulation, which we kind of see that right here, but I need something better. I would love to see just Asian lows or any lows really swept, get that impulsive movement, breaking any of these highs, leaving an imbalance here, and we take that push right towards the upside. And basically, we're going to be looking for those type of setups until we get to this high. All right. Pretty nice here on GJ. I like GJ. Let's put this, let's keep this here. I'm going to be watching this. Very, very heavy. These pairs owe me a lot this week, guys. For the damage that they did to me last week. It wasn't that bad, but they owe me. All right. I'm just saying. So here on CAD here, we have the high here broken. We're still holding order flow. CAD doesn't look too bad as well. Let's draw this fibs out. We're way into discounted pricing already. We can see that we're at the 80. Pretty nice area to look for buying opportunities. We just need breaks, right? I like this, actually. I like that we swept these lows here today. That's a good sign. Let's get this breaker structure right here. I like this. I'll be looking for buys here on CAD. Now, you guys know CAD is usually in the red because it's usually in timeout, but I'm going to take it out of timeout for today. Right, we're going to take it out of timeout. And we're going to look for a buying opportunity here on it. Okay, so I'll be looking for buys towards the upside here on CAD. I'm looking for the impulsive move. You guys know we need to see imbalance before we look for a buy. And there's no imbalance here. There's no impulsive move just yet, but I do like the manipulation, okay? That is a good sign. We are manipulating Asian lows in discounted pricing. So keep a close watch on this. This is going to go in the same category as GJ, right? Keep a close watch on this, guys. Right, wait till we see that impulsive move. Wait till we get that liquidation. Wait till we see that imbalance. There's our trade. Okay, so we're just gonna wait. We're gonna be patient there. Let's kind of go through these a little bit more. Okay, this is not half bad. This is a lot uglier, but it's not half bad. This right here would be our change of character. I do see that we're in discounted pricing. I am bullish overall on Chef J, guys, just because this market is just, it's just a bullish market. Okay, this market is just a bullish market. All right, so I'm usually just bullish on this market in general, and it hasn't given me any reason not to be at the moment since we're still holding order flow from this low to this high. We still haven't broke this high, but we have a lot of liquidity above these highs that I would love the market to come into. And what else do you guys see, right? For my Wyckoff traders, those of you that still study Wyckoff and understand it, accumulation. reaccumulation. We're mitigating that. We're mitigating that reaccumulation, and we got a last push to the upside. And I think we swept this high. I think we did. Did we not break it? We barely wicked above the high, right? So barely technically broke it. So we're still bullish from this low, and you guys can see what are we doing here again. We're looking like we're forming a nice accumulation. So if we do get that change of character, I'm going to start looking for aggressive buying demand zones to sweep the rest of these highs. Okay, so that's the current market cycle here on SEFJ. We are bullish. I am looking for buying opportunities on SEFJ as well. First order of business, we got to take out this high, right? That's going to be the first order of business here, SEFJ. I added 2 alerts, my bad. I can't spell. I'm a trader, guys. Remember, we get paid to trade. All right. Let's see. I like ACAD as well. ACAD, like I told you guys, ACAD remind me of AU. So it's basically going to be the same analysis for me on ACAD. I'm looking for buys towards the upside. All right. Overall directional bias is looking for buys. I'm still waiting for us to take out this high, but just look at the market cycle. Just look at the order flow. We're just going higher, right? Going higher, going higher, going higher, going higher, right? We have not created a change of character yet. That's what I've noticed. Every time I draw out a change of character here on this right here, I drew one right here, I drew one right here before I deleted them. We're not getting no change of character. What does that tell me? Buyers are still in control. And especially this deep into this pullback, we're still not getting any change of character. So it tells me buyers are still inside this market and sellers just haven't shown themselves, or they're just not strong enough. So we're going to be looking for buys here on ACAD as well. It's not as clean as AU, but if it does give us a nice setup, and a nice setup here, guys, would just be the same thing. Just seeing that range, that manipulation, and that impulse, right? These impulses just left imbalance. Well, not imbalance. I'm sorry, guys. These impulses just left liquidity here. So there's not really nothing that I want to take from here just because of all these lows just sitting here. I do not like taking trades when liquidity is like right there. Okay. Perfect example. Let me show you guys that EU. Right. You can see we have the impulsive move towards the downside here, but look at these highs, guys. It's just liquidity sitting there. Look what happens. Market just sweeps all these highs there. To further explain that, right here on GCAD, I would have loved if GCAD would have swept these lows. But because we did not sweep these lows, I am not looking for a buy here. Doesn't mean I'm not looking for a buy on GCAD at all. I'm just not looking for a buy here. And the reason why I say that is because I am actually bullish on GCAD. I want GCAD to go higher. We just took out this high, guys. We just invalidated order flow, and now we're aligning back with the higher time frame structure towards the upside. So I'm going to be looking for aggressive buying opportunities. I'm just not going to take a limit order from here. Now, I don't mind if the market comes here. Let's say we tap off of this. I don't mind if we get a reaction here. We push higher. That's fine. I'll take and I will follow that towards the upside. But we're not going to take a limit order. I need to see the market give me reactions or something that I can take a trade from. All right. Other than that, we're just going to be just liquidity for the market to come and take. Okay. And we do not want to be the liquidity for the market to come and take. Okay. And so looking for buys on GCAD. All right. Looking for buys on GCAD. eChef, I am not a fan of eChef right now. That's why it's in the red. It's in timeout at the moment, just because we're just ranging. It's just ugly right now to me, guys. I've tried. I took a loss on this last week, and that was my only trade that I was going to take here because If that buy didn't play through, I knew we are just kind of just stuck in this range. As you can see, we're just getting stuck in this range here. I do not like to be a part of ranges. I do not play in ranges. So we're just going to stay away until we break out. Until we break out of this high or break out of this low. So for the time being, it's just going to stay in timeout, guys. Okay? And I think that is all for our pairs. If you guys have any other pairs that you want me to cover, right, let me know in Discord. All right, it's going to go straight to the Discord. You guys are going to get this video first, actually, and then it will be on YouTube later. Indices. So this morning, well, let me just talk about indices in general. We're bullish. We're back, guys. We're bullish, right? We've been back. These markets came lower. We swept all of these lows here. We're coming for these highs. I'm gonna just say that we're coming for these highs. So I am looking for buying opportunities here on indices. Okay, NAS, ES, YM, right? Just they're the same thing, guys. It's just the contracts. All right, these are futures contracts. The reason why I'm doing the futures contracts is because I need to see the exact pip. I need to see the exact point. All right. This is the real price action. This is the real price action from Wall Street, guys. This is it. These are the real price action. So I need to see that. All right. So we swept these lows. We got this push higher. We've been following the buys towards the upside. You guys can just see that we're bullish here. We're sweeping lows, going higher. Sweeping lows, going higher. Even today, look what we did. We swept lows here. Boom. And we push towards the upside. All right. So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for buys on NAS. Now this morning, look what we did, guys. We came into this 1 hour gap right here, 1 hour imbalance, 1 hour gap, whatever you want to call it. And we swept Asian lows. Swept Asian lows right here. Since then, we've been pushing, right? As soon as the market opened, look at these bullish gaps towards the upside. All right. Now, I did not take my trade here on NAS. I took my trade on, not on ES. This was the trade that I was going to take that ended up hitting take profit. But I didn't take my trade here either. I took my trade, and you guys can see that NAS and ES literally are the same price action. Let me just zoom out, guys. These more or less are literally the same. Okay, they kind of just did the same thing here. We swept all of these lows. We have liquidity up here. We're coming for the new highs. All right, so just know that if I'm looking for buys on NAS, I'm most likely looking for buys on ES, and I'm most likely looking for buys on US30/YM. So NAS, XPX, US30. All right, they move similar. You guys can see the price action is similar here. Sweeping lows going higher, sweeping lows going higher. So we're looking for buys. And today was literally the exact same setup. So it was basically whichever one looked better to me. And I ended up taking US30, which I'll get to here in a minute. But you guys can see our structure point from this low to this high. Let me delete this SMT. Boom. From this low to this high, we came back. We swept all these lows. We filled majority of the rest of the imbalance, and we mitigated back into this candle right here. Let's go to the lower time frame. What do you see? Right, went under these Asian lows here. We got that ugly accumulation, and as soon as the market opened, push, right? Literally on all of these, the exact same thing. Now US30 is the trade that I ended up taking this morning because I liked US30 a little bit better. Reason why is because we had a nice accumulation here. So we had a nice accumulation here on US30, and we came down and we filled this imbalance when the market opened, right? You can see right before the market opened, we filled that imbalance. And since then, we've been taking off towards the upside. So I ended up taking US30 today instead of NAS or ES. Now, maybe I'll regret that. Maybe I won't. I do see that ES already would have hit my take profit. So, you know, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt for now. We're going to see what happens as the day continues on, right? We still have the rest of New York to go. Take profit is kind of, I wouldn't say far, but it's a little bit up there. We'll see what happens. This was a big entry. This is not usually the big entry that I usually like to take. And the reason why I took a big entry like this is because this market opened up so aggressively towards the upside. So I had to kind of just cover these imbalances, right? As I was waiting for the market to confirm these imbalances, as you guys know, for the market to confirm an imbalance, it has to close the next candle, right? So these 5-minute candles were going higher, and then the next 5-minute candle goes higher and closes, and it confirms the lower imbalance. So the price is already up here. The price is all the way up here, but the imbalance is confirmed down here. So I had to take the entry up here, confirming all of this imbalance. As you can see right here, I had to take the entry here, still confirming all of this imbalance and holding that just in case the market wants to go lower. Because guys, you have to understand, I'm looking at this in hindsight now. In hindsight, you could have said, oh, you should have just took your entry down here, right? That's hindsight, right? As this market is going higher, I'm not expecting this to just keep exploding like this. I was expecting this to come lower, come down and tap into my imbalance, and then I would have took the trade. But because I seen that we were still pushing, I seen this little rejection, and then I seen the nut, I was like, no, we just executed, right? And I was okay with taking the big stop loss. It's all right. And we'll see what happens. We're close. We're already break even on this. So I'm not tripping on this. We'll see what happens. We're break even. It's Monday. I wasn't even thinking these markets were going to move this aggressive. So it's basically a cherry on top for a Monday. Okay. And let's get into some crypto here. Talk about some crypto. Bitcoin looking nice. All the crypto bros are happy. Portfolios are up. Remember, guys, we talked about this reaccumulation here. I was really expecting us to come really deeper into this reaccumulation, but we didn't do it. That's a good sign. We have a very nice market cycle, right? We're seeing the original accumulation here. We're seeing this reaccumulation. This is going to be another reaccumulation. You guys can see we have the accumulation here. What does that mean? We're seeing buyers in this market. This market is bullish. Now, I know a lot of people are going to blast this top. Do not blast the top. You missed your entry. Your entry was down here when everyone was telling you it was over. Okay? Stop listening to everyone telling you that crypto is over. We're in 2025. Crypto is not over. Crypto has been accepted into the world. Okay? I really do. I don't even think we're going to go back down here anymore. Lowest that I see us coming down into is like 90,000, maybe 85,000. If we break this low, I would be very surprised if we break this 75,000. Okay, so meaning is, as this market goes higher, guys, let's say we hit like 116, 120,000. Once this market pulls back, and it will pull back towards the downside, people are going to look at this as an investing opportunity. People should look at this as an investing opportunity to buy Bitcoin underneath 100,000 because it hit 100,000. So if the market sentiment is correct and people are looking at this as a buying opportunity, looking at it as a dip, this market is going to continue to soar. The only reason this market will go past 75,000 if the market does not accept Bitcoin anymore. That's the only way, and I just don't see that happening. So I expect us to continue seeing steady price action. I want to see the steady price action. Remember, I told you guys this. We want to see steady price action on Bitcoin. I don't want Bitcoin exploding towards the upside. I don't want Bitcoin to be a pump and dump. I think that's my alarm. It's going to keep going. And it's kind of far away for now. So, but hopefully it's not too loud, guys. Hopefully you can't hear it because of the music. So we're almost done with the video. But look, we want Bitcoin to continue like this. We want a steady rising market, okay? We do not want to pump and dump here. That's how we get steady growth, and that's how we can get Bitcoin into bigger audience and just for the whole entire world to accept Bitcoin as a bigger asset. All right, that's when we'll get larger banks and we'll get larger institutions dumping more money into Bitcoin, and the price will continue to go higher, which will pump our bags. All right, so that's my analysis, guys. I want to go turn off this alarm. I don't want it to be too loud in the video and mess up the video for you guys and just be annoying. But Thank you guys for coming into this analysis here. I will see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, please let me know inside the Discord or message me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. If you have not, you can message me there or in the Discord if you have any questions and concerns. If I didn't cover something here that you wanted to see, you can either message me about it, or tomorrow I will be live and we can talk about it tomorrow and I can show you my analysis on whatever you want me to look at. All right. Peace out, guys. Thank you for coming in to this market analysis. I will see you guys tomorrow in the live call. Peace out.